Going to give a series of lesson on English grammar. So I've seen that there is a series of lesson I'm going to plan on English grammar, and I have made another live video, and that live video contains everything about the origin of English language and how this grammar, vocabulary all came into English language. I am explaining in that particular video. Now, like every language, English is also a language which is spoken by a group of people. Now it is the world language. It is spoken by many countries. It is official language in many countries. But like any other language, it also has its own two important things. One is the grammar and second one is the vocabulary. So, if you have the vocabulary, you can speak the language. Grammar is also important because if you want to study the language and clearly make it, you have to have the language, actually grammar. So in a language, you don't have to study the grammar. When a child is born, he will be naturally speaking the language, the native language. But if a new person is studying the language, he has to study the grammar also. The child automatically gets the grammar. You don't have to study the grammar. But if you want to become a better speaker, at some point of time, the native speaker also has to study the grammar. So these are the two things in every language. One is the words or the vocabulary, okay, and then the rules. How to use these words very effectively, and that is the grammar. So if you have the words and if you have the grammar, you can effectively use the language, or you can communicate the language properly. So if you want to become a very effective speaker in English, you need the vocabulary and you need the grammar. So that is why we are giving a little bit stress on grammar, English grammar. We will be also having vocabulary lessons later, but first we are concentrating on the grammar. So I am going to start from the simple part of the grammar, and I am starting with the parts of speech.
There are 8 parts of speech: noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjunction.
Now, what is parts of speech? It is actually vocabulary, the words, different kinds of words that are used in the English language. You can see it here. So I start from the first one, noun, second one, pronoun, third one, verb, fourth one, adverb, fifth one, adjective, sixth one, preposition, seventh one, conjunction, and eighth one, interjunction. So 8 parts of speech. So that is all about the English vocabulary. And now we are going to see how this is the way English words are. Now we start from the nouns.
Nouns are names of person, place, things, or animals. There are 8 types of nouns: proper nouns, common nouns, abstract nouns, concrete nouns, compound nouns, uncountable nouns, countable nouns, and collective nouns.
What are nouns? Nouns are names. Okay, names. Names. Nouns are names. Nouns are names of animals, place, things, all those things. Any name comes in noun. Now, there is a lot of division on noun. For example, when you are telling about the name of a person, maybe Jeremy, maybe Rebecca, or so Matthews, all these are nouns. Or maybe dog, or maybe India, or maybe Europe, all these are nouns because they are all names. So examples. So these are the examples. Now these nouns are divided like this: proper noun, common noun, abstract noun, concrete noun, compound noun, uncountable noun, countable noun, collective nouns. So this is how the nouns can be divided. So what is proper noun? Proper noun is the name. The individual name of people are called as what? Proper nouns. Now what about common noun? So for example, you can give any name. Johnson. Johnson. So Johnson is a name. Okay, Raju. Raju is a name. So like that is the proper noun. Now, second one is the common noun. Common noun examples are dog, cat. All these are common nouns because it is common to a group. Man, woman, student, all these are common nouns because it represents groups. Now, abstract noun. Abstract noun is a noun that you cannot touch. For example, anger, love, hate, examples of abstract noun. Okay? So, proper noun, common noun, abstract noun. Abstract noun is something which you cannot touch or feeling. Your feeling is the abstract noun. Now, concrete nouns are. Concrete nouns are something which you can touch. House, paper, anything that can be touched. All those nouns which you can touch is called as concrete nouns. Now, what is compound noun? Compound noun is two nouns coming together and forming one noun. Bed sheet, tablecloth. These are compound nouns. Examples of compound noun. Okay, you can make two nouns come together. Wicket keeper. All these are what? Compound nouns. Compound nouns or compound words coming as nouns. Then uncountable nouns are nouns that cannot be counted. You cannot count it. For example, milk you cannot count. Water you cannot count. All these are what? All these are uncountable nouns. Now what are countable nouns? That you can count. Anything, houses or villages or pens or all these things. If you can, whatever you can count, you call it as what? Countable nouns. Then there is the collective noun. What is collective noun? Collective noun is something which is a group, team. It's a collective noun. Flock, fleet of sheep, flock of sheep, herd of cattle. Listen. So herd, fleet, flock, all these are what? All these are what? Examples of collective. So I have told you about the nouns. Nouns are names. So you have seen about proper noun. Is a name, common to a name or group, abstract, which you cannot touch, but a feeling, concrete, which you can touch, nouns, compound noun, two nouns or two or more words comes and make one noun, then countable, uncountable, which you cannot count, milk, oil, water, anything which you cannot count. Then countable nouns, you can count, and collective nouns, which is forms a group, team of players, fleet of ships, flock of sheep, herd of cattle, all these forms collective. So I think you understood about that. Now it comes to the pronoun.
Pronouns are words used instead of nouns. There are 7 types of pronouns: demonstrative pronouns, interrogative pronouns, infinitive pronouns, possessive pronouns, reciprocal pronouns, reflexive pronouns, and relative pronouns.
Noun. What is a pronoun? Pronoun is a word. What is pronoun? Pronoun is a word that is used. Pro means what? Pro means instead of noun. Word that is used instead of noun is called as what? Pronoun. A word that is used instead of noun is called as pronoun. So now you can use so many different kinds of nouns instead of pronouns. So there is a lot of division about pronoun. So you can use personal pronoun. He, this. If you are telling a person, Johnson went there. He came from America. So you use, instead of Johnson, he, she, it, they, them. All these are what? Personal pronouns. We can use it for person. Any pronoun that is used for person is called as what? Personal pronoun. Now demonstrative pronoun is that. That is the house. Okay, I'm demonstrating something. This is the team. So that, these, all these are what? Demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative. Then interrogative pronouns are. Interrogative pronouns are what? Interrogative pronouns are questions. What you can use, what is your name? Where do you stay? Okay. So that words are used for some particular thing. Where, of a place. What is used for a thing. Who is used also used for a person. Interrogative is question words. What, where, how, and then the infinitive pronoun. Several or many or much. Infinitive, we don't know the number. Infinitive pronoun. Then possessive pronoun. Mine, yours, his. All these are examples of possessive. It belongs, show of belonging. Possessive pronouns. Possessive. Then reciprocal pronouns. Then reflective pronouns. Relational pronouns. Reflective pronouns, myself, yourself, all those things. Relational, which, relative pronouns, which is relative. So these are the pronouns. We'll see all those things in detail in another class of all these different kinds of tenses. So I'm not going in detail now. I will go in detail when we are taking it in detail, each one of these. So the next one is the verb.
Verbs are action words. There are 2 types of verbs: auxiliary verbs or helping verbs and action verbs. In auxiliary verbs, we have modal verbs and primary verbs. And in action verbs, we have the transitive verbs and intransitive verbs.
So we have seen pronoun on all different kinds of pronouns, nouns, and now the verb. So verb is, what is verb? Verb is an action verb. Listen. anything which shows action is called as what? Verb. So verb has got two different types. One is action verbs and helping verbs. Okay, when we are telling about the verbs which are doing action, we call it as what? Action verbs. And then there is the helping verbs which are helping, maybe action verbs, or maybe sometimes used it as separate. In helping verbs there are two types of verbs. That is, the helping verb is also called as auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs. And auxiliary verbs are two types, that is modal auxiliary and primary auxiliary. We'll see all these things in detail. Modal auxiliaries are helping verbs which has got a meaning, and primary auxiliaries are helping verbs which doesn't have a meaning. And action verbs are also two types. One is transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs are verbs which has an object, and intransitive verbs are verbs which do not have an object. So that is all about the verb. So you have seen three things: nouns, then pronouns, then verbs, and you have seen all the different kinds of verbs, that is helping verbs and action verbs. Helping verbs has two types. Helping verbs are also called as auxiliary verbs, and modal auxiliary and primary auxiliary. Then action verbs, the second one, and it has got the main verbs, or you call it as main verbs also. And it has got two types: transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Modal verbs are verbs which has got a meaning. They are auxiliary verbs but having a meaning. Primary verbs, primary auxiliaries or primary verbs doesn't have any meaning. Transitive verbs has an object, intransitive verbs do not have an object. So that is all about verbs. So you have seen three. Now fourth one is adverb.
Adverb is a word that modifies a verb, adjective, clause, or another adverb. There are 5 basic types of adverbs: adverbs of manner, adverbs of time, adverbs of place, adverbs of frequency, and adverbs of degree.
Adverb is a, you can say that a word which qualifies a verb. You call it as what? Adverb. Qualifies or describes a verb. He came slowly. Verb, I'll give you. They not give an example of a verb. Verb is he is a boy. The verb is. That is a primary auxiliary. Then action, he won first class. One is the main verb. So like that, main verbs and auxiliary verbs are. Okay, so I'll give you the example also, verbs. Now comes the adverb. Everybody knows about verb. So and when we take the topic of verb, we will see all those things in detail. Now, adverb. Adverb is a word which qualifies a verb. Okay. He went very fast. Okay. He went slowly. So here, the slowly is telling something about how he went. He went slowly. He went fast. Okay. So that is an adverb. A word which qualifies a verb. Sometimes it qualifies an adjective also. Sometimes it qualifies another adverb also. He went very fast. There it qualifies another adverb. Fast is an adverb. Very fast is another adverb which qualifies fast. So this is about adverb. So now adverbs are also divided into 4 types. Adverbs of manner, adverb of place, adverb of time, and adverb of degree. Okay. So adverb of manner, slowly, fast, quietly, all these are adverbs of manner. Okay. Happily. So now adverbs of place, here, there. Okay. All these are adverbs of place. Then adverbs of time, daily. He used to come daily. So there it is, adverbs of time. Then adverbs of degree is there. Quite, very, many, all those things. Okay. So adverbs of degree. So we have seen three types of adverbs. Adverbs of manner, adverb of place, adverb of time, and adverb of degree. So we have seen four types now. Noun, pronoun, verb, adverb. Okay. Now we are going to the fourth one. That is the adjective.
Adjective is a word that modifies a noun. There are 8 types of adjectives: article adjectives, possessive adjectives, demonstrative adjectives, interrogative adjectives, ordinal adjectives, cardinal adjectives, indefinite adjective, proper adjective.
So adverb qualifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. So here adjective is adverb qualifies a verb. Qualifies a verb, adjective or adverb. Here it qualifies only a noun. So any word which qualifies a noun or describes a noun is called as an adjective. So adjective is a word which qualifies a noun. So here you can see a lot of, so what is that? Good boy, bad boy, understood? Fast runner. Okay, all these are what? Adjective. Good house. Many adjectives you can see. Now, articles are all adjectives. There are 2 types of articles. We'll see the articles in another detail in another lesson. Article. There are 2 types of article. 3 types of article. 2 types of articles. That is A and or the. Okay. So this is the definite article and this is the indefinite article and this is the definite article. So there are 2 types of articles, definite articles and indefinite articles. Now adjective can also be, for example, the boy, a book, adjective, because it qualifies a noun. Then again you can see possessive, my house, your house. Okay, all these are possessive articles. Possessive, when you are using an article for as a possessive, then we call it as possessive. Your house, possessive. Your house, possessive. Then demonstrative, that house, this house. So it qualifies a noun, but it is demonstrative. Then interrogative, which book, what matter. Okay, all these are what? Interrogative. So articles, possessive articles are adjectives, possessive adjectives are there, demonstrative adjectives are there, then interrogative adjective. What book, what matter, okay, or which person, which boy, all these are what? Interrogative adjective. Which boy made the mistake? What matter did you discuss? All these are what? Interrogative adjectives. Understood? Now you can see ordinal and cardinal adjectives are there. Ordinal tells about the number. 1 person, 2 person, 1 book, 2 book, any number. All the numbers are what? Ordinal adjectives. When cardinal means first boy, second boy, third boy. When you are using it in that way, you call it as what? Cardinal adjective. Well, again, same way, indefinite adjectives. Many boys, much rush. Indefinite, you don't know how much, but you tell them. Okay. Then proper, Japanese. When you are telling a name, right, or using a name to describe Japanese people, Korean people, all these are what? Proper adjectives. Okay, so you understood about adjectives. Articles are there, possessive nouns, possessive adjectives are there, demonstrative adjectives are there, then interrogative adjectives are there, which book, what book, then ordinal adjectives are there, 1 boy, 2 boy, cardinal adjectives are first boy, second boy, Then indefinite adjectives are there, much, rush, many people. These are all. Then proper adjectives. Okay. Then comes the preposition.
A preposition is a word that shows the relationship between two words, mostly between noun and another word. There are 6 types of prepositions: preposition of time, preposition of place, preposition of direction, preposition of agent, prepositional phrases, preposition of instruments.
Prepositions are many types: time, okay, place prepositions, direction preposition, place prepositions, time prepositions. Prepositions are used in all. Immediately after this one we will be going into prepositions, so I am not giving much details in it now, because in this class we are going to continue about preposition. Now then comes the conjunction. So what is preposition? Prepositions are words which shows the relationship. It shows the relationship between a noun and another words in the sentence. So you can use he came on time. He came on time. Okay. The book is on the table. The book is on the table. So on.
Conjunctions are joining words. There are 3 types of conjunctions: coordinate, subordinate, and correlative conjunctions.
So now next one is the conjunction. Con means join. Okay, con means join. Okay, so yeah, these are the joining words. These are very important words. Everything is important, but this is very important, because if you want to frame sentences, you have to use conjunctions. Conjunction join sentences, join words. If you want to make very beautiful sentences, you have to know how to use these conjunctions. So conjunctions are 3 types: coordinate conjunctions, subordinate conjunctions, and correlative conjunctions. So coordinate conjunctions are and, but, or. Okay, we study it in detail. We have to and, but, or. Okay, and subordinate are because, if, unless. Okay, so many subordinate conjunctions are. Then correlative conjunctions are neither, nor, either, or. All these are correlative conjunctions. So all this is the conjunction, but they join sentences. A very important group of words. Then comes the interjunction.
Interjunction is a word or expression that occurs as an utterance on its own and expresses a spontaneous feeling or reaction. There are 6 types of interjections: interjections for greetings, interjections for joy, interjection for attention, interjection for approval, interjection for surprise, and interjection for sorrow.
So interjunction are feeling words. Oh, how, oh, etc. All these are feeling words which are interrogative or which shows the feeling. They are interjunction. They are not much used. Only in. Okay. So we have seen whole of the different kinds of words that can be used. So we will be studying all these in detail, and that gives that will be the beginning of the grammar lesson. So we have seen, I try to recap all these things. There is a noun. Noun is the name of the person. Okay. So a quick recap of what we have studied in the parts of speech. So we have studied that I told you that there are 2 aspects of any language. One is grammar and second one is vocabulary. So grammar, we are taking and seeing what are the kinds of words that can be used in a language. So in English language, we have got 8 parts of speech. First one is noun, and you can see all these kinds of proper noun, common noun, proper noun names of individual names, common noun class names. Abstract nouns are nouns which cannot be felt or the only felt, not touched. Concrete, then compound, uncountable, countable, collective. So these are the different kinds of nouns. So as we will be seeing all these things details, I am not going into the details more. Now pronoun. So noun is the name, whereas pronoun is something which is used instead of a noun. So here you can see a lot of different types of pronouns. Personal pronoun, the demonstrative pronoun, interrogative pronoun, infinitive pronoun, possessive pronoun, reciprocal pronoun, reflexive pronoun, and then relative pronouns. Okay, so these are the kinds of pronouns. So pronouns are words which are used instead of noun. Nouns are names of any names are nouns. Then we came to verbs. Verbs are something that are used for action. There are 2 types of verbs. Helping verbs. Helping verbs are of 2 types. Modal helping verbs are also called as auxiliary verbs. So modal auxiliary and primary auxiliary. Then we have got action verbs. That is 2 types. Transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. So these are the kinds of verbs we have seen. Then adverbs. Adverbs are words which qualify a verb, another adverb or an adjective. Any of these things it qualifies. Okay. So example is slowly. He walked slowly. So walked is qualifying. The slowly is qualifying the walk. Okay, how he walked. Then there are different kinds of adverbs. Adverbs of manner, adverbs of place, adverbs of time, and adverb of degree. We have seen all these things. Then we have adjectives. Adjectives are words which qualifies nouns. So any word which qualifies a noun is called as an adjective. And we have seen a series of words which qualifies that. Articles, a, an or the, definite or indefinite, then possessive, demonstrative, interrogative, cardinal, ordinal, indefinite, and proper. So these are the kinds of adjectives. We will see all these adjectives in detail. Now prepositions we have seen. Time preposition, place preposition, direction preposition, then place, okay, place and time, okay, direction. These are the different kinds of preposition. Then you can see the conjunction. Conjunctions are different types of, they are the joining words. Preposition, I told you, they are always placed before the nouns and they shows the relationship inside the sentence. Then we see the conjunction. Conjunctions are also of 3 types. Con means join, so they join words or they join sentences. Okay, so there is the what do you call as the subordinate conjunction, coordinate conjunction, and correlative conjunction. Okay, so these are the different kinds of conjunctions. Then at last there is the interjunction. Interjunctions are words with feeling. So if you see conjunctions, subordinate conjunctions, and then coordinate conjunctions, and but, all these things are coordinate. Subordinate conjunctions are because, if, unless, all these things. And correlative conjunctions are neither nor, either or, all these things. And so at last we see the interjunctions. Interjunctions are words which shows feelings oh, how, all these things. So that is all about the parts of speech. Now we will be seeing each parts of speech in detail. Now every parts of speech in detail, and we'll have a detailed study of these things in the subsequent videos. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you have enjoyed this video. I'll be making a series of videos on different topics in English and many other topics. Please watch out for more videos. Please put your comments in the comment section, which will be an encouragement for me. Thanks.